Hi, this is Malika. I just wanted to pop on to let you know that my audio is a little different this week. Hopefully, it is not too distracting. All right, thanks for listening. Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies. We're sisters who discuss all things related to work, family, and personal growth.
We draw inspiration from everywhere, especially from you, our listeners, to keep moving forward with joy and laughter and the big adventure that is life.
1 week at a time.
I'm Azizi Williams. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a mom of 2 adult children, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. I'm here with my sister, Malika Amandi.
That's me. I'm a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a mom of 2 littles, and I work in higher ed.
In this episode, we dig into what we're watching now and share different perspectives on moving through hard times. But first, we have a Festival of Analog coming up for episode 150. Can you believe it, Malika? 150. That's wild. But we want to showcase some of your analog activities, practices, and habits. So please, please, please let us know what you're doing in the analog space. You can send us an email at happierladies@gmail.com to let us know.
All right, Azizi, this is another but first.
But second,
Not that long ago, what are we? Now it's been almost 6 weeks, probably. I lost my engagement ring,
wow.
which sucks because I really liked it. It's beautiful. I love it, I can even say.
Are you sure it's lost?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it in the last 6 weeks. So,
That's a long time.
and a couple days before that.
I'm sorry.
And I don't know, like, since going back to work and like really since Quincy was born, like we've been kind of shuffling rooms at night
Yeah.
and I usually take it off at night. And so I still would wear it every day, but there were a couple times where I would forget to put it on. And then things just got a little loosey goosey
Oh.
with like where it was. But I kind of have a spot for it. But anyway, I also noticed one time when I was walking Kermit, like I stuck my hand in my pocket and I took it out and the ring had come off. And I was like, oh my goodness. And, I put it back on. But like, if that happened, it
Yeah.
could have fallen out of my pocket.
Right.
I mean, I've been looking in every pocket, but all this to say, I kind of made peace with it because it really bothered me for a long time. But now I kind of think, well, and I had it in my mind even before the accident, but like going to this kind of Japanese belief about objects sacrificing themselves for you.
Yeah.
If you lose an object, that maybe it was because the object went in your place for something bad happening to you. And so now we can just say, okay, the engagement ring went ahead.
But your life was spared.
Exactly, in this big accident. So
That seems right.
it feels better now.
Did you tell that to Norm?
Not about the accident, but I did tell him that I lost the ring.
Okay. Seems like that'd be a tough conversation to have.
He was nice about it. I mean, he could tell I was disappointed. And
Yeah.
so I think I'll try to get something. I don't think we'll try to replace that exact ring, but
Right.
try to have a nice ring for my birthday, maybe.
Something else. Yeah, that concept comes in handy so often, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like that reframe of this means that I'm protected in some way, is
Yeah.
really handy. And just today, actually, Sinai let me know that she lost her wallet again. This is the second time. And so I can reframe this as she's out there in college, and this is protecting her somehow. So that is a helpful reframe when there's nothing else you can do really, when
Yeah.
something is lost. So it's better to not stay in that sad space anyway. We're back with our first segment, Media Moment, where we discuss what we're currently reading, watching, or listening to. And we've just been like on a roll with media, Malika. So
Lots of media.
there's lots of
Wintertime.
media. There's great things out there, and we just are so excited to talk about it. And I am so excited to talk to you one more time. Let's say this is the
Okay.
last time I'm going to talk to you about traders. I just feel like I have to wrap it up. So there's going to be some spoiler alerts, but I fell into the show. I've talked about it before here and there. I just think it is so delightful, and I just needed to come back and talk about the ending.
Okay. What happened in the ending is easy.
So first of all, this is season 4. Season 3 was great also, but season 4 was epic and critically acclaimed. Everyone who has seen it says that this is one of the best episodes or seasons. And just in general, I like Traders because it's a competitive show, so you kind of get lost and you get wrapped up in the competition like Survivor or Top Chef or something like that. And it's great because no one gets hurt. They have physical challenges, but no one's really in danger, and that makes me feel good. So there's still that competitive moment. There's still challenge, there's still physicality, and different people have advantages because of the physicality or the kinds of challenges, but no one gets hurt. It's light. Also, the clothes are beautiful. Like people show up ready to make a scene, to be remembered. And so it's like heightened fashion. The setting is beautiful. The castle is beautiful. All of those things together just like really do it for me. So while I was watching the show, the thing that is really interesting about it is that it puts people together from different reality TV sort of worlds. And you don't
Mhm.
have to know those worlds because I don't watch any of those other things. So I don't really know most of the people there, but you just know that it means something to be a housewife and it means something to be a survivor or a gamer, they call it. So those things mean something in the show, but you don't have to know who they are. But it sort of explores what it's like to lie to people and how
Mm.
hard that is. And that's an interesting concept to actually watch people whose job it is to lie about what they're doing or what they're going to do. And you see how different people kind of grapple with that and how
Hmm.
for some it's really hard and some it's really easy. And that's just like,
Hmm.
it's fascinating to watch. In the end, I'm just going to skip ahead.
Okay.
Rob is a trader, and there's usually 3 traders at the beginning who are assigned, and no one knows that they're gonna be traders. They're tapped. It's like a secret ceremony, and they're tapped to be the trader. So their job is to try to not be discovered and not be voted off for all of the episodes. I think they're like 8 episodes or something like that. Usually they do. Usually they get discovered, people figure it out. There's some giveaway or people just find out who it is. But Rob, who was on Love Island, that was his reality
Mhm.
show connection. He came in as kind of unknown. He had a very low key personality. He had this like persona that was like, I don't really know a lot. I'm just kind of cool. And he was so good at the lying.
Mm.
No one suspected it was him the whole time, almost up
Yeah.
until the end. And then some people started to realize, a few people, like, so Tara Lipinski and Johnny Weir were just so lovely to watch. They are figure skaters, they are Olympians. It was confounding that no one really knew who they were when they went on the show. And so they were able to operate as individuals. And then later on, they paired up and they figured it out, but no one else kind of figured it out. And so is this making sense to you? Are you tracking, Malika?
I'm tracking. I'm tracking.
Okay. Do
I'm
you have
still
any
with you.
questions? You good?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. So the heartbreaking part was that Rob formed this. Did I say there were spoiler alerts? I did, right? Spoiler alerts. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
So Rob formed this partnership with Mara, who was also from Love Island, but a whole different cast. They didn't really know each other before they were on the show, but they had this bond that they were both from
Yes.
the Love Island world. And they were like so happy together. And you could tell he really liked her. They were friends and they like during physical challenges, he would carry her and they had this great bond. And towards the end, people started saying, maybe it's Rob. She never voted for him and would never cast her vote. Meanwhile, she's saying to the camera during the talking head kind of parts, like, I've been so terrible with guys in my life and I've just been lied to so many times. And I'm just like that's always been my story. So you know this about her
Mm.
because she's saying it to the camera, and yet she's being lied to again, and she doesn't know it until the very last episode. It's just Mara and Rob, and so Mara is so giddy. because she thinks that they have won the jackpot because they have gotten out all of the traitors. And she reveals that she's a faith and is like just so ready for Rob to say that he's a faithful. And when he says that he's a traitor, she just like
Oh.
falls apart. It's like epic meltdown. And it was so sad. Like this was what she knew about herself. And then it happened, the familiar
But okay,
pattern.
let me come in here and just say, Mara, why would you be on a show like Traitors if you have issues with people lying to you?
Well, that's the thing. This whole entire show, everyone thinks they know. Like, to be fair, there are some people who are like, I have no idea. But a lot of people are like, I know. And they are so wrong. And they have all of these theories and all of these ideas, but mostly people are very wrong about their theories and ideas.
Right. But whether or not you're right or wrong about people lying to you, the show is about being lied to. So, Mara, I don't feel bad for her,
Oh my
but it
God.
is sad.
Come on, a little bit bad for her, because they bond. People bond with each other and they make real friends and they start to forget that it's a game and someone's trying to win. And so you think if someone's being nice to you, that they are your friend and you form these alliances.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that's why everyone watching was like, what are you doing? Come on. It's a game. But man, that's hard. It's human nature is to connect and to bond. And you don't want to believe that people are out to get
Yes.
you.
It makes me think of the TV show The Americans. I don't think you
I
watched
didn't
it.
watch it.
It's about spies in the Cold War who were
That's not
embedded
funny.
as
Well, is this
Americans,
a comedy?
but it's not a comedy at all. But you just see how people trust each other and like
Yeah.
they were friendly. I mean, it sounds like in this example, they were really friends and they were really allies until they weren't at the end, until he
Yeah.
revealed.
And he was just so good at it. And that's the thing, he was able to compartmentalize because towards the end, it started to wear on him. And he would talk about how this is getting really hard now, but I have
Mm.
this game to play. I have my future family and my kids that I want to fund their college. And so he was really clear about why he was doing it, but it was still heartbreaking to him.
Future kids or actual
He
kids?
has no kids. He was like,
Okay.
in the future,
That's ridiculous.
I'm making money because I'm going to have a farm and I'm going to have a wife and kids
That's
and they're going to need
ridiculous.
money. And so I'm doing this now in service of those future kids. And after Mara had the meltdown, and it was like, it went on and it went on. Because not only was Rob the only trader who made it through, like he was the sole winner of all of the money. I've never seen that. Usually they have to divide
Wow.
it. There's multiple people that make it to the end. And finally, Mara was able to say, you know what? I would have done the same thing if I was in your position. She was saying, if I had been tapped to be the trader, I would have tried to do the same thing. So at the very end, she was able to acknowledge that it's a game and he played a good game. But man, that was hard to watch. So here's my question for you, Malika.
Okay.
Would you want to be a traitor or a faithful? Because people come onto the show, sometimes they have strong feelings about what they want
Yeah.
to do. No one gets to choose, but some people are like, oh, it'd be so much fun to be a traitor. And some people are like, no, I could never do that. Would you want to be a traitor or faithful?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's something fun about being a trader, and there would be something very satisfying about pulling it off, you know?
Yes. Yes.
I think I would feel more accomplished if I won as a trader,
Okay.
but
Bigger accomplishment. Yes.
practically speaking, it would be easier to not be lying the whole time and to
Yes.
just be able to call it like you see it and like have that clarity of conscience, you know?
Yeah. The traders definitely have main character energy because
Yeah.
there's only a few of them and there's a lot of everybody else. So they get more camera
Right.
time and they have this like secret meeting every night. And definitely you get to know them more and it looks like they're having more fun in the beginning. But I could never be a trader. They would find me out immediately. Immediately. So in this show, there was a twist in this season because Donna Kelsey, who is Travis Kelsey's mom, there's another one. There's another brother, Travis, and I don't remember the other brother. Anyway, they're football players, and one of them's engaged to Taylor Swift. Can't remember right now. Doesn't matter. Their mom was on the show, and they had this twist in the first episode where someone immediately was chosen as a traitor, but even the audience didn't know. And then the other traitors didn't know who the other traitor was that had been appointed. But Donna went down right away. So she ended up being the secret traitor, but she was like so starstruck and so quiet and awkward. And people were
Mm.
like, oh, it's her. It's definitely her. And it was. And then she left. That would be me. I can't hide. Yeah. Much easier just to not be. And I think I would have more fun that way too. I think, yeah,
Yeah.
it would weigh on me. So that was my media moment, Malika. What's your media moment?
All right. So I have been watching F1 Drive to Survive on Netflix.
Yes.
We have talked about this show. I think this is the 8th season. It's a docu-series about Formula One racing, and it kind of tracks the previous year's season.
Hmm.
It's great. I feel like I was just like, oh, I'm just going to kind of casually watch it with Norm. We just watched one episode or two. And I realized yesterday we're on like episode 8
You're not
somehow.
casually watching it anymore.
I was like, wait, what happened? So what's interesting, they keep doing this kind of device with the episodes. There's been a few that have been like this, where there's basically an underlying like leadership premise or question about strategy, and then they showcase two different teams that are doing something differently. It kind of asks the viewer, like, basically, what would you do, or who do you think is more successful?
Mm,
So I thought, because we often talk about leadership examples that
mm,
are evident in this series, because it's a team sport, but it's very different than like a basketball or baseball. Like, there's so many factors. There's the team principal, who's kind of like the boss of this organization, and they are managing the engineers, the mechanics, like every aspect of building these super high performance cars. And then they're also kind of selecting and managing the drivers. And each team only has two drivers. And the drivers are on a team together, but they're also kind of competing against each other,
mm,
because each team can only have one type of car. So they
mhm.
have two cars, but each team has a different amount of resources that they can use to build their car. So
Right.
across the board, the cars are not equal. So driver to driver, you can really, I mean, they're all competing to get on the podium first, second, or third place. But like the two Mercedes drivers, for instance, are the only drivers driving this exact car.
Right.
So you can really compare their performance
Yes.
because they have the same tool, right?
Yes.
Anyway, it kind of creates this dynamic between teammates. Like, they're teammates, but then they're also always like trying to vie for who's better, and it's this complicated point system. Anyway, one of the first questions that comes up is like, is it better to be a nice guy as the team principal? Like,
Mm,
to be really friendly and kind of supportive of the drivers? Or is it better to be more kind of exacting and demanding and just cutthroat?
mm,
What produces better results?
mhm,
So it kind of looks at two teams who are actually at the bottom.
mm,
One of them has this very kind of outspoken team principal, Flavio, who's like a playboy. He's like been in Formula One for decades and has this really like bad boy narrative about him. He's really brash and
mm,
stylish.
mhm,
He's like ruthless. They all have reserve drivers in case something happens to somebody on the team. And most teams have like two reserve drivers or one reserve driver.
mhm.
He's got like five.
Wow.
So these are people who are going to all of the
Sounds
Grand
expensive.
Prix.
Mhm.
They're just like in the wings if something
Just
happens
ready.
and it's their
Just
turn.
ready to have be their
Yes.
turn. Malika, are they all equal or are there primary ones and secondary ones?
Of the reserve drivers?
So there's 2 drivers who aren't reserves, and then the rest are just all reserves.
Yes.
Got it. Mhm.
His approach, it feels a little bit like he's playing chess and the drivers are pawns.
Hmm.
It's like everyone knows, like, if you don't cut it, he's going to swap you out. And like that could be the end of your career.
Yeah.
And then the other team that they're pairing or contrasting is, we'll call it the Stake F1 team. It has a very long name, but we'll just
Okay.
call it Stake. Their team principal is this guy named Jonathan Wheatley, and he's very soft spoken. He's like risen up through the ranks in Formula One. He started as a pit crew. He's been in the industry for a long time as well, but as kind of a worker, whereas
Mm,
Flavio was a driver,
mhm. The other side. He's an
right?
administrator. Yeah.
He's an administrator,
Yes.
and his approach is like, I want to have breakfast with the driver. I want to tell him how much I believe in him and how much I want to see
Mm,
him blossom.
mhm.
He's very like nurturing. And it's funny because I've talked about the Clifton Strengths
Yeah.
framework. I'm like totally seeing like these different characters, what they lead with. And like he's
Mm,
very much a relator, very much developer, wants to be a part of the growth process and
hmm.
like doesn't want to put too much pressure on the rookie driver because he knows these things take time. And so they're just totally different in every way.
Yeah.
And you kind of just see over a series of races how that plays out with their teams.
Mm.
And they end up kind of neck and neck. And like, at the
Yes.
end of the day, it's kinda like, does it really matter? I don't know.
Wow.
But that is one question, Azizi,
Oh,
for you,
okay.
for us,
Yes.
as we our own leadership development questions. How much does the culture of an organization play in the performance or the success of the employee?
Well, you've heard the saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast, right? Have you heard that?
I have heard that.
Like it's you can have whatever strategy or strategic plans you want, but if you have a horrible culture, you can't carry it out. I think it's very important. The other thing for me, I mean, obviously, Flavio, is that his name?
Yeah,
It seems like he enjoys that type of leadership. Like that excites him, it sounds like. And
totally.
right? Like that's just what he knows. That's all he knows. And that's a good day for him. And that would be a horrible day for me. Like I would hate to
Mm,
lead like that. And I think it's important that you be an authentic leader and that you're using your
sure.
strengths and what feels right for you. Like it's important to not pretend to be something that you're not. And I care about how other people feel. So I want to make sure
Yeah,
that in the culture, people are feeling good about themselves and feeling like they have potential and feeling like there's a belief in them. But there are times when you have to say it's not working or you have to give hard feedback. I guess, yeah, maybe there are some times when you can be a Flavio or when you need to be a Flavio. But then for
right.
me, I would, majority of time, because I would feel better about myself and I would hope my team would feel better about themselves being that like relational kind of leader.
Yeah,
But it's hard because if it's not broken, they're still winning. But people
right.
maybe wanna kill him, you know? Like, maybe he's not making for like, in the long run, that might not be sustainable. And then the other thing is, like, when he can't do it anymore, when he leaves, then what happens?
Right.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a interesting question as it's framed in the episode because they are both at the bottom.
Right.
The stakes are really high for both of them.
Yeah.
And for Flavio, to his credit, there's a driver that's just not doing well, and he crashes the car repeatedly over 6 races. So it's not like he's got one shot and then he's out. Like,
Right. He's giving them shots, but is he crashing because he's so anxious about
that's the thing. It's like, I think there's, on the one hand, being really pragmatic about these are our resources. We need to start winning. Like, this is still a business and a competition. However, the drivers feel there's
right.
a bottom line, there's sponsors, there's lots of people's jobs are depending on this. Like, not that it's a charitable organization or anything, but like,
Right.
there's a lot of people are depending on the team getting points or winning. That's how they
Yeah.
fund the whole thing year after year.
Yeah.
I think he has that bottom line perspective in mind, but he's not really taking any responsibility to create the conditions where people are going to do well. He
Right.
expects everybody to be excellent, but he's not, as a leader, giving any
He's not cultivating it.
at all.
Mhm.
Right. So that's kind of naive. And I think that's not successful.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
basically, as a result, when people fail, it's always everybody else's fault.
Mm.
He's never taking ownership for the decisions, or
Yeah.
it's like they have
And that's
excuses for why they're not winning.
it's not sustainable. Like nobody
No.
wants to stay in that kind of environment for very long. But in something like F1,
Right.
maybe it doesn't matter because then there's always someone else who will come along and just do it,
Well,
right?
he's only been the principal for, I think, for a year. Like, this is his first time coming
Ah,
in after a long time, and he was, like,
I see.
brought in to shake things up, and I wonder
Yeah.
exactly, is it sustainable?
Mhm.
I think on the other side, I agree with you. I think I'm more aligned with the, like, relational leading style,
Mhm.
and it does feel like people still need accountability and, like,
Mhm.
to be challenged, you know? It's not
Yeah.
just enough to be friends. People need direction
No.
and
Well, it's hard because, like, when you're the leader, you have to figure out how to get people to do things that they haven't done before or don't want to do, or how to get them to do something different, you know? And that
right,
is the challenge. Like, do you inspire? Do you motivate? Is there a carrot? Is there a stick? Is there, like, what are the tools and
right.
strategies that you can get to inspire a performance or to inspire people to be their best? And that's the hard part. You have to adapt a little bit and figure out what each situation requires, but that's hard.
Yeah. So there's one more question. This is a different episode, and you kind of brought this up a little bit. Like, each team has 2 drivers. You asked, is there kind of like a main driver
Mhm.
or like a lead driver? And so some teams do have that approach. There's like a more veteran driver and then a rookie driver. So
Hmm.
it's kind of clear that the veteran driver is going to get a little bit more attention and be expected to win more races. And then the rookie
Mhm.
driver is kind of being groomed to kind of step
Mhm.
into that role at
Yeah.
some point, but there's not as much pressure on them. So some teams like Mercedes follow that model, but then other teams like McLaren, they
Mhm.
feel like we've got 2 lead drivers. Both of our
Right.
drivers could win, and we want them to race each other.
Right.
We want them to be 1st and 2nd in every race, and they've gotta fight it out to see who's gonna be 1st and who's gonna be 2nd, and that's what good sportsmanship is, that's what good driving is. Every driver wants to win. The problem is you get into situations where they're fighting each other, and they could even crash, you know, because they're both really going after it, and usually what happens on those other teams where there is a clear lead driver is, like, if the rookie is catching up to the veteran, they'll defer and let them pass, or they might even help block other drivers so that they could go past.
Mhm.
And neither model is perfect. I think there are pros and cons. You see, like, there are some accidents and some embarrassing moments where it's like, what is happening? These people are on the same team,
Yeah.
and it creates a really weird vibe off of the track because they're
Right.
on the same team, but they're also
Yeah.
like, why did you do
They're not
this to
they're not
me?
supportive of each other
No,
necessarily. But McLaren does well, right?
they've been doing really well.
Are they one of the top teams?
Yes. But the principal has to be like a dad, basically, like, not showing favoritism for either kid in this
Right.
model. And it's really interesting because I do feel like with the Mercedes model in the past, like, there have been drivers in the 2nd seat who are just, like, demoralized because they feel like
Right.
they're good enough, but they are never allowed
They
to
have to hang back.
they have to hang back. And it's like, "Great, thanks for being a team player. Thanks, you're a great team player."
Right.
But they're always kind of
Yeah.
wondering, like, "Could I do better?" Or, like,
Right.
I've seen, like, more of a restlessness and then a eagerness to move to another team where they're gonna be treated more
Right.
seriously.
So what do you think is the better strategy?
I feel like from an ideals perspective, I really like the McLaren strategy. Like, I do feel like ultimately drivers wanna drive fast, and if
Right.
it's
Yeah.
drive fast but not too fast, you know, that's
Yeah.
confusing, and I think the critical thing is that the message is clear for everyone on the team. Like, you have to talk about it and what that looks like and, like, what
You have to talk about what?
about what the, expectations are around that. So if it's like, okay, you can
Mm.
compete, but there's gotta be no tolerance for touching, you know, or there's a point where you do defer when it's just 1 and 2, you know, you're not trying to there's gotta be some guidelines as it plays out on the show. Zach Brown, the principal, is like, they're gonna figure it out, you know, like, he has his ideas about it, but he's not
Yeah.
actually setting a tone or leading the culture, right? He's just
Okay, so Zach Brown, listen, I haven't seen this season yet. I'm waiting for spring
all
break.
right.
I'm gonna get my bowl of popcorn. I'm gonna binge it. And it feels like it's been 2 years since the last season. Like, feels like the last season was a very long time ago. But Zach Brown, he's been with McLaren for a while, right?
Yeah, he has been.
He's not new this
No.
season. And they are winning. And so his indifference is working. It might seem like a failure, but it's not. And so he can like wring his hands and like not be clear about certain things, but it's clearly playing into what he ultimately wants, which is for them to bring that angst to the track and,
Right.
like drive fast. And the risk is sometimes there's a crash, but
Right.
ultimately the reward is that they're driving as fast as they can, trying to outperform each other. And they're like the best drivers on the track already. Right.
Right. I would argue like they're winning, but they could be winning more consistently without crashing their cars and losing resources because they're not winning
Right.
all the time
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
point in the show. Like overall, they did win. But
What? Spoiler, Malika.
sorry, this is just out there. This is like
All right.
history.
Right. The season comes like a year after the actual
Yes.
racing.
But the like conflict and the turmoil that it causes for the drivers feels to me unnecessary.
I don't know. Maybe that's the recipe. Like maybe
I don't
that's
know.
the thing that gets them to the end. Who knows? It's hard to isolate these
Yeah.
things and to
True.
say, point to it's this or that, or if this wasn't there, it'd be better. But he's been the principal for a while, and this has been their strategy. Like that's a
Yeah,
consistent
that's true.
dilemma with the drivers is that they don't have a number one, and it feels like chaos, but then it works.
That's true. I think underneath, I'm just a really big Lando Norris fan. I just think he's great. Like
Okay, Malika.
his reflections, he's very like
Is that what this is all about? It's like just you want Lando Norris to be the lead. Just let him drive the fastest, please.
no, it's just
I think he's okay. I think he's okay, right? Well, I can't wait to watch it and to see what other leadership lessons come through. I mean, I love the show. Like people ask if I actually watch the races. No, I don't watch the races. Although I will say I met someone whose son is in college to be an F1 like engineer.
oh wow.
That's an actual major. I think he's at Purdue or
That's
something.
cool.
I was like, what? Like eyes got really big and they actually got to go to an F1 race when it was in Austin. And
Wow.
I mean, I was just so impressed. But anyway, I forgot why I was saying this. Where was I going with that story? Where was I going with that? I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like this is what we did before he did Rivalry was watch this is the sport we watched before we turned to hockey. So I'm excited that it's F1 season again. And I know what I was going to say. I really appreciate how they have a different lens. I don't actually watch the racing because there wouldn't be the storytelling behind it.
Right.
And that's what I'm here for is the storytelling and, getting to know the actual people
Yeah.
and their stories is what makes it interesting to me.
Yeah. It's fun to see the background. I have been watching just with Norm some of the highlights of the races. There's like a 30-minute version of each race on Apple.
How's
They're
that?
all on Apple now. It's interesting.
Okay.
I like having a vague sense of what happens and then watching the Netflix thing later to like get more perspective.
Okay.
It feels a little richer.
So you see how it played out and then you get the inside.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, guess what's going on my 100 dreams list? I want to go to an F1 race.
Me
I'm gonna
too.
put that on my list.
It's on my list too.
Maybe Monaco.
Okay.
Oh, it is on your
Yeah.
list.
It's already
Okay.
on it.
We'll do it together. Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, let's take a break. And when we come back, we will share different perspectives.
Disney Plus wants to know, are you ready? For Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, The New Avengers, now streaming on Disney Plus.
Let's do this.
One of the best Marvel movies of all time is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Hey, you weren't listening to me.
I said Thunderbolts, The New Avengers is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Meet the new Avengers.
That's a cool name.
Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, The New Avengers, rated PG-13, now streaming on, you guessed it, Disney Plus.
REI has ultralight backpacking gear.
So for you gram counters and ounce shavers, we made this ad ultralight with a base weight of just 13 seconds. The next 17 seconds, pure trail. Find more with less in-store and at rei.com.
And we are back with Perspectives, where we ponder some of life's conundrums and curiosities.
Okay, so Malika, we're both going through some difficult situations and just wanted to talk through how we are getting through those difficult situations.
So, Azizi, what's happening with you?
So I am likely going to have to move
Mm,
and I don't want to move. And so that is the difficult situation that I'm navigating. I probably will have to, it will be fine, but it's challenging. What's happening with you, Malika?
that is challenging to move when you don't want to move.
Yeah,
That's
moving
hard.
is horrible. Just moving is just horrible. And I'm not going to move far, I don't think, but just coming to terms with
Yeah.
that is, ugh, yeah, don't like it.
So, I feel like I talked about it earlier in the episode about having this car accident, and I feel like the worst is over.
Yeah.
Feel a lot better than I did a week ago.
Oh, good.
But there's still a lot to figure out in terms of, like, getting a new car and getting back to, like, equilibrium around everything.
Yeah.
That was my hard time. We talk about it on Substack. You can go there, happierladies.substack.com, if you wanna get the full background around that.
Right. So during hard times and, during this one where I'm having a lot of emotions and feelings and just kind of processing, but I still need to be able to function and I still need to get through. And I think about the mantra that Liz shared, I think on Happier in Hollywood, which is be a lotus in muddy water. And that
Mm.
is a mantra that I have turned to many times in my life. And I just think that visual is so impactful for me, so powerful.
What does that mean to you, Azizi?
It means even though things are murky or not great or icky around you, you can be that flower, you can stay cool, you can project confidence, be optimistic, kind of rise above whatever ickiness is below you.
Hmm. Practically speaking, how do you do that?
That's the thing. Like I was thinking about this mantra, be a lotus in muddy water. But how do you actually do that?
Be a
It's one thing
lotus.
to just say it and to visualize it, but actually doing it takes some work. So these are some of the things that I do. So one thing I do is focus on what I can control. So I'm feeling icky or I'm feeling like that I'm in this tough spot because there are things that are happening outside of my control and that does not feel good. And so what I try to do is think about and lean on those things that I can control. So I think about what am I wearing? What am I going to
Mm.
wear to get through this day that is going to make me feel confident and comfortable and like just help me get through this day, like all the way down to the shoes that like what am I wearing to get through this day? That's something that I can control. I think about my meals and wanting to have like this kind of sparkling water because it's going to give me this burst at 12
Mm.
o'clock, at noon or something, or what kind of healthy, high fiber, what can I pack that I'm going to look forward to eating at work or in my day. I can focus on my breathing, on my breath, having moments to just pause and take a deep breath. So that's the first thing is think about the areas, all the other areas that you can control and making them work for you to make it easier to be that lotus in muddy water.
I love that.
Oh, thank you. Number 2 is to pick a persona. And we've definitely talked about this before, how to get through something, you can just pretend to be someone else. Right? Like if it's hard
Yes.
for you to figure out how to navigate it, or if it's hard for you to imagine yourself in that situation, just be someone else. that situation. So in our heated rivalry deep dive, I have unlocked a new persona, and that is Una Hollander. And Una Hollander is the mom of Shane Hollander, and she gets stuff done. She has like put in the work. She has, nurtured her young son to be the number one hockey player or number two in the league. And even in, why are you laughing? This is
Because
true.
it's funny.
In heated rivalry, there's a
For one, or is he for two?
right. It's debatable. Depends on whatever. Depends on the season. But even in the book, or I don't know if it was in the show, but in the book, he says, "Oh, she's going to get all Una Hollander on you," because she has a plan. When she's faced with something tough, she figures it out. She's a badass. She pivots. She keeps rolling. Like she gets shocking news. She takes a minute, and then she's like, "Okay, what's our plan?" So that
Mhm.
is something that I lean on to get through. Is like, how can I be more like Una Hollander in this situation? And just come up with a plan. And it turns out pretending to be someone feels real or like when you're not feeling it, but you pretend like you're feeling it and then you get through it. You fake it till you make it. And this reminds me, Malika, when I went to stay at an Airbnb and it was in Palm Springs or like Palm Springs adjacent. And oddly, there's this huge lake and all of these houses are built on this lake. Palm Springs is a desert. There is no lake. There should not be a lake. It was man made. And I was wondering, how is that going to feel? It's going to be so weird staying at this fake lake and just hanging out there. And then when we were there, guess what? It feels like it's real. You just feel like you're at a lake. It doesn't matter that it's fake. And it's like, oh, that's the power of fake. Like it can actually feel real when you need it to.
I think there's with picking a persona is also pretending is active, so
Mm,
where you could feel paralyzed in your own rumination about it, like choosing to be Una Hollander and doing things as she would do them, that's actually putting you into action. And that I think is helpful.
mm. That's true. And now that I think about it, all of these are places where you have control. So even
Yeah.
choosing the who are you going to embody to get through is something that you have control over. And that is a form of action. And I think that action is the
Yeah.
antidote to anxiety, right? So the third thing is to engage with media that is uplifting. Another thing that you have control over is what are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you reading? What is going to be uplifting and sort of help take you out of that murky, muddy place. And so I have playlists and go to movies and things like that help me to be that Lotus that I need to be.
I love it.
Thank you.
Do you have this list written down?
I do. Yeah. I have a list.
Your Lotus list?
I have something that's adjacent, but I think I need to create this list, this specific list for being a Lotus in muddy water. I don't have this yet, but I absolutely will track this. Lists are helpful. It's helpful to be able to return to it and to remember it when you're in that moment and having a hard time.
Lists are helpful. This reminds me of I have done like a leadership workshop for directors, like women who are trying to become TV directors
Mm,
or film directors, like, but they're at the earlier stages of their career in terms of just thinking about their own leadership style and how to articulate it.
mm-hmm.
And one of the questions that we would talk through is like, okay, when you're on set, how do you take care of yourself? What are the things
Mm,
that you know how to do or that you're going to be like the best director you can be? And it was a lot of what you're talking about, especially the first step around like, oh, I have this type of snack, I have my water bottle, I have this, I wear this lipstick, or whatever it is. Often the little things that you do to take care of yourself, it can be an important part of your kind of like leadership package.
mm.
So these are things that people often take for granted, but once they wrote them down and articulated them, it made them feel a lot more confident about their ability to get through a hard day on set.
Do you know what's interesting? I reflect back on when I started to be ahead of school in my first year, and I just wanted to
Yeah.
know, what do you wear? What should I wear? Where should I sit? No one was talking about these things. And I would like want to ask
Yeah.
people, but then when I did, they would give me a look like, what are you like? Come on, we're women and you're talking about clothes, And I felt like
Yeah.
Where can I go to just talk about those kinds of, like, at that basic level, I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands when I am a leader walking. It was so granular, and I would love to have more spaces where we could just talk about those foundational things, you know?
Your kind of mantra is to be a lotus in muddy water. And Gretchen always says the opposite of a profound truth is also true. So for me, I think the mantra recently was basically just be in muddy water.
Oh,
Just be in the muddy water.
what does that mean to you?
It means don't be in fix it mode. Like, accept what's going on, do nothing. There's this meme on Pinterest that I found, or it's like a motivational quote thing, but it's basically like sometimes doing nothing is actually like allowing things to integrate. It
Hmm.
looks like you're doing nothing, but you're actually allowing things to integrate in your body and settle.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of what it is for me to be in muddy water. Stop trying and just trust that like things are going to shift and move. And at some point you'll be ready to change, but don't force it.
So how do you actually do that?
I think for me, the first thing is to actually say out loud that you're not doing well. So when people ask me, how am I? How are you? Is to say, I'm not good. And just to say it. Like, I'm so used to saying, oh, I'm fine, or it's fine. I'm okay, hanging in there. But to just be free to say, like, okay, this is another heated rivalry reference.
We're
It's
terrible right
just say,
now.
I did use when I was feeling it last week, was to say, if somebody said, how are you? I would say, okay, not good, probably bad, which is something the character says when they're in a hard time. But it's just to be honest
Huh.
about how you're feeling and to not apologize for it.
Mhm. We don't do that enough with each other, and obviously there are some spaces where that's
Right,
hard, or you don't wanna do that because you don't wanna get into it because that's an invitation for people to ask you more. Maybe you don't wanna talk about the thing, but
right.
during these times, it sounds like when you wanna be in the muddy water, you wanna be in a place where you can just be honest with how you're feeling and say it.
Yeah. Because putting on the face is another form of effort, you know?
Right.
So I think the next thing that I try to do is find things to let go of control of. So you mentioned
Mm.
kind of being intentional about what you're eating.
Mhm.
And I think for me, it's like I can let go of that decision. Somebody else can decide what I'm eating. That's a privilege. Obviously, like I'm in a family that takes care of me. And I had friends that were bringing me food, and it was like, whatever they bring me, I'm gonna eat. That's what's for dinner.
Mhm.
And that was something that was so helpful to just relinquish that decision every day
Yeah.
for the week. And like, what am I gonna wear? I wore the same clothes for several days
Mm.
and it was fine, like that my best self? No, but my body needed resources and energy for other things.
You're conserving energy with those kinds of
Yeah,
decisions so that you can heal. And
yeah,
I agree that it is okay when you're in muddy water to say to someone, I need you to bring me food. Or I can't make this
right.
decision right now. That's why we have friends and family, right? That's why we have community.
Yeah. And then the final kind of action is to give yourself permission not to throw the ball back in like communications.
Mm,
So you don't have to answer the text message right away.
mm,
You don't have to answer the text message tomorrow or the next day. Like it's okay if you're not participating. I mean, obviously, this is another privileged thing. I was able to take a few days off of work. If you're trying to really function at your regular level, if you have to show up and other people are depending on you for things like that, that's not as easy. But wherever you can, even with our family, or especially the day after the accident, I didn't really want to talk about it.
or the day of, right? Like and I do that. So I just sent you a text message and I had no expectation that you would get back to me. I'm like, Malika will reach out when she is
Yeah,
ready and in a place to reach out, and that's okay. So what you were doing or what you needed in that moment. And we have to be able to take that time for ourselves when we're in the muddy water.
right. I mean, I think in that week, I felt like that was all I could do.
Mm-hmm.
I think because I let myself be a potato, I feel like I do feel better this week.
Mm,
These things, might come around again, like healing is a spiral and all of that. I'm not
mm-hmm.
saying like I'm done processing this, but I feel more like a lotus this week than the mud,
Mm,
you know?
nice. So there you have it. Yeah, two different approaches to hard times. Sometimes you want to be the lotus in muddy water, and sometimes you just need to be the muddy water, and that's okay. And I think it's important. I'm glad that we talked about those two different options for different times in your lives. So let us know what you do. How can you be the lotus in muddy water? What do you do to be a lotus in muddy water? And what do you do when you just need to be in the muddy water? Let us know.
Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll share our peaks and valleys.
This episode is brought to you by Peloton. Break through the busiest time of year with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. With real-time guidance and endless ways to move, you can personalize your workouts and train with confidence, helping you reach your goals in less time. Let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
We are back with peaks and valleys because in life there are always peaks and there are always valleys. This is an odd episode, so Malika is up first with a peak.
So, Azizi, a while ago, you mentioned when we were talking about our favorite YouTube channels, you talked about NPR, their Tiny Desk series.
Mm.
And I started watching some, and I'm just like, oh, yes, this is so good. They're so
Yay!
fun.
Because you're not a music person
And
always.
I'm not, but I do enjoy live performances when
Mm.
I see them. I just don't always seek them out. I kind of
Yeah,
forget to seek them out. But there are a few that have stood out to me. So I've been kind of watching them regularly now.
yeah.
And one of them is, I'll link these all. There's three. So the first one is this band called Catriel and Paco Amoroso. It's like this rap duo. They're Brazilian.
Mm.
And this video popped up, and I was just like, what is happening? Everything about their outfit, the band, their sunglasses, I was just like, what am I watching? I don't understand, but I like it. I like it. And it was in Portuguese. I don't know, it hit on some level, but I've like gone back to that one a few times. It's so interesting. I'm not sure if it's like a Gen Z thing.
Did it make you want to dance?
It does make me want to dance, but it also just I
Did it
stopped
make?
staring.
Okay.
Like I felt like there were so many references and I understood none of them.
That's what happens when you get old.
But I like somehow it didn't
But also maybe it was international.
also true. I feel like I wanna share it with your girls to be like, "Am I missing not am I missing things, but can you interpret this for me? Are there things here?"
Break this down for me. Yes.
Whatever it is, I was
Yes, we should. I'll watch it with Ilea and Sinai.
and actually, I started looking up a little bit about the group to see other performances. I guess they were at Coachella last year.
That's what I should do. I should look up the Tiny Desk concerts of Coachella people.
Yes, that's a great
I
idea.
should definitely do that. Yeah, I should do that.
So the other 2 that stood out to me, Jill Scott did one recently that's so good, and
Yes,
then
yes.
Justin Timberlake did one. And all 3 of these groups had just, like, a lot of people behind that tiny desk, which is kind of fun.
Right. They pack it in. It is so good. And it's like not long. It's a manageable set. It's
No,
usually like 3 or 4 songs.
yeah.
Malika, you should
All
watch the Wicked and Lion
okay.
King. They have Broadway Tiny Desks also, which are fun.
Fun. Okay. What's your valley?
Well, I shared already my valley with my living situation, so I'm going to take this time to have a peek because that's
Okay.
enough valleys. Okay. So I finally got new tires. Oh, and I will tell you, Malika,
Yay!
after your accident, Ilea called me and needed new tires a week before, and then you got in an accident, and then I'm like, okay, it's time. I need to take care of this. So that definitely motivated me to get something done. So I got it done, crossed it off my list. I'm very excited.
Good for you.
Knocking things down. Now, Malika, I have an unrelated question for you.
Okay.
We don't have to discuss it here, but
Okay. I'm nervous.
you should be. A few days ago, I sent you pictures of myself and my tutu with a couple of outfit options, and you did not give me any
I'm
response.
s-
And so
so
now I'm
sorry.
really worried. So we can discuss it later, but as my sister, it is your
Right.
obligation to make sure I don't make a fool of myself in public, okay?
Now it's all coming back. I remember this image. I think I saw it like right when I woke up and then the day came and I forgot. We will handle this offline. I will circle back to you.
Please review. Listen, I send you text messages before I go to bed, and I know that you are asleep. So I understand that you may have missed it, but I'm just sitting out here wondering what you're thinking about this. So please go back to it.
I will get back to you.
Excellent.
It
Thank
was
you.
positive.
Oh, see? That makes me feel good already.
Yeah, it was positive.
All right.
Well, that brings us to the end. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. What are you going to try this week?
I am going to watch that Tiny Desk concert. Sounds like fun. What are you going to do?
I feel that way too. I want to find the Broadway ones.
You're going to love it. That's going to be fun.
All right. Thank you for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, please rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
You can find us on Instagram and YouTube at Happier Ladies and at happierladies.substack.com. All right, Malika, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Azizi. Bye.
Bye. With F1, it's
Okay.
interesting with
There's
those
one
two-
more leader.
Oh, sorry. You got to move on.
There's one more.
All right.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.